Please don't do this. Death is coming for you!
Thank you. All right. But that was probably one of the darker things they did because it was probably one of the violent things that they did. But even that started to get kind of cutesy near the end with certain things. Not that I didn't like it. I loved it, actually. But, I think that looking at Wakanda Forever and how they just didn't, they had humor where it was necessary, but most of this was a drama. I want this to be successful because I want Marvel to see that it's okay to not have to have that lighthearted tone. So last week, Martin and myself, we went to the theater to see a little small art house movie. Probably a lot of people won't see. It's a little black struggle movie called Wakanda Forever. The sequel to the other black struggle movie called Black Panther. Those blacks weren't struggling in that. They made a lot of money, and it went beyond just a superhero movie. They called that Afrofuturism. And needless to say, big film, and now we got the inevitable sequel, Wakanda Forever. I gave it a high full price. Martin loved it more than I did. Martin gave it a better than sex. But not everybody feels that way. Some people out there saying, it's all right. It's cool. It's okay. Ain't better than that first one. And then some people saying, I didn't even give a shit about the first one. Why should I care about this one? And even though I didn't care about the first one, this one ain't even as good as that. That's what I want to bring people here for, man. I want to talk about this and talk about why this movie is not being seen or scoring or being reviewed or rated as well as Black Panther. Now, before we get into that, we got this man right over here.
Well,
Chris Herman. We haven't heard your review yet.
Yeah.
And been sitting up here eagerly waiting to hear what you have to say about this movie.
Sure. Well, I really enjoyed it. I thought Ryan Coogler and the filmmakers did a great job of honoring the passing of Chadwick Boseman, but also honoring the passing of T'Challa. In terms of my complaints, I would have liked more Winston Duke's M'Baku. I almost feel like they kind of underestimated his popularity from the first film in this one, even though he's probably he has more Bobby screen time in this one. Yeah. But I still would have liked more of him. They kind of set him up as the uncle, if you will, to the family.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. And now, no one gives a bad performance in this movie, but I feel like Dominique Thorne as Riri Williams and Martin Freeman as Agent Everett Ross, like they're good in the movie, but they almost kind of feel superfluous to the plot. I mean, Riri Williams is probably less superfluous because she is a plot point in the film. Yeah. But even after they kind of wrap all that up and they move on, because really she's used as a pawn in the movie. Yeah. And I was like, all right, I mean, she's just kind of here. She's not bad, but she feels like her presence there to set up a whole other show, which is what they're doing. Yeah. And with Everett, Ross, Martin Freeman's character, that's setting up another Marvel movie. Yeah. And we know what that is. Yeah. So, but overall, I thought it was very good. For myself, I probably liked it more than the original Black Panther, and so I would give this like a high full price.
A high full price. Yeah. Okay, so we're there together.
Yeah, I felt exactly the same way.
Yeah. This is not tracking as well as the other movie, and we'll get into that. The previous Black Panther is. Now, kind of echoing what you guys are saying, I think Wakanda Forever is better than Black Panther in some ways. I think it's got better CG, better effects. Yeah. It's more emotional because of Chadwick Boseman. I mean, there's no way around that.
Somber.
I think Ryan Coogler's direction is stronger. And listen, and I say this with full confidence because this is a big statement, but I think that this is the best Marvel or MCU movie since
we lost, all of us. We lost a part of ourselves.
That's Endgame, as you can tell by the audio, if you're listening to it, and you can tell by watching that. The emotional stakes were very high in that film. And honestly, I don't think I'm not even talking about, I realize that my complaint is not about the MCU having some big bad guy waiting like a boss fight at the end of a certain cycle of films. I realize that the emotional stakes just didn't feel that high in a lot of these films.
Oh yeah, absolutely they didn't.
But when you take a look at the Rotten Tomatoes scores, and I know a lot of people don't want to go by Rotten Tomatoes, and I'm not trying to say that you should be influenced by Rotten Tomatoes. I'm not saying that this is something that you should go to make up your mind about anything. I don't think you should go to anybody. Yeah, you shouldn't come to me. Don't listen to my dumb ass about films. I just tell you what I like. Just another guy with a microphone and a camera.
Very true.
But Rotten Tomatoes, it is a collection of different reviewers out there. It ain't one guy calling the shots. And those collection of reviewers are some of the people that did rate Black Panther back in the day. And they're the ones that are responsible for giving Black Panther damn near 100%. It's a 96%. Now, when we get to Wakanda Forever, that score dips down significantly to 84%. And I tried. I put my review in there. I put my rating in there. Tried to give it a little bump.
Yeah.
It didn't help. Now I'm looking at this, and of course, when I saw this, because I'm coming fresh out the movie, and I'm looking at that score right there, and I'm like, who the you think you are disrespecting this film like this? Who the racism is playing a part in this? Who the hell do you think you are? I'm mad walking out of there, and then I realized, hey, wait a minute, because then I looked and I said, well, damn, some of these critics are black that gave it a negative review. So, I look at this and I'm just kind of like, as much as I love this movie, as much as I want to give this movie a better than sex, shit, as much as I want to have sex with this movie right here, because I love it that much, as much as I want to just kind of give it as much as I could to support, I myself did not give it the perfect score. And as someone I like to fancy myself a more mature reviewer these days, I'm not coming in upset anymore at other people's opinions. I look at that and I say, you know what, when I see that, it's worth a listen to see what people have to say. Even if I don't agree, it's worth a listen to see what people think about a film with their criticisms, as much as I like to hear their praise of a movie. So I thought it might be a good idea to explore this lower score. Just have a discussion about it. See what we agree with some of these people, what we don't, and why we came in and scored it higher. When I went to bed that night, I'm like, yeah, everybody gonna love this. And I wake up in the morning.
I would never do that.
Yeah. Shit, I got coal in my stocking. I didn't, no Christmas for me.
84 isn't bad.
No, it's not. It's not.
Bad. Yeah.
Probably one of the higher ones of Phase 4.
Yeah. Especially considering how contentious everybody is with their opinions lately.
Yeah. No, that is true. No, it's still a very good score. It's just, it is a big drop from, what I thought the first movie was going to be, especially for me thinking that everybody's going to be so into, be emotionally moved by that movie like I was.
Well, from what you just showed, the audience score is significantly higher.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, it is. I look at the audience score when it serves me.
Oh. That's what everyone does.
Yeah. Well, the audience agrees with me. Now the next day, that audience is stupid. What do they know?
It's like Black Adam had an audience score of 90%?
Yeah.
That movie's a piece of shit. So,
Damn.
So, that's...
I didn't want to talk to you about Black Adam.
I have a lot to say.
I'm going to get into something that will probably make some people might strongly disagree with me, and some people will probably say, yeah, I see exactly what you're saying. And by the way, this is something I said in my review. Some of these things you've heard in the review, and I couldn't elaborate because I don't want to spoil anything.
Sure, absolutely.
But I think one of the things I agree with some people on when they criticize the movie, I think they say that the story structure is a little off in this, and I agree. And I think that, one of the things that contributes to that is the character of Riri Williams, played by Dominic Thorne. You already brought that up, man. Yeah. She's funny. I think she had one of the best lines in the movie that had me laugh out loud.
Conscious or unconscious? You need to be conscious of the way that you look. Walking around here with that ash on your head.
Bitch! She said, you better get her. Sure, you better get your friend. I just laughed at that because, first of all, I think that's because black people just call other black people ashy all the time.
Sure.
But I ain't never thought about calling somebody's head ashy.
Well, also her head doesn't really look ashy.
It don't look ashy, but it's like...
She was antagonizing her.
Yeah, she was just, I'm surprised she even fell for that.
I know, me too.
I just don't think that she's a strong character. And... some of that I think is because Marvel is intervening. I don't think it's because of Ryan Coogler's script. You know, a lot of these scripts already have to have, they have to put things in there to follow Marvel's blueprint.
Sure. It was probably one of their things of, hey, we got this character we want to launch and we think she'd be good for this movie. And it was like, all right, well, we'll figure out a way to write her into it. Yeah.
She's the least emotional character in the movie. And, she's not related to anything that these characters do. So I get it. She doesn't know, T'Challa. She's not from Wakanda. So she doesn't have the same emotional investment as these other characters. I get it. But, for one, I talked about this in our review about Marvel in general. And she's the walking example, the walking trope of one thing that I think Marvel is kind of overdoing right now. Mm-hmm. And I was saying in our review, that is the genius who just creates something on the spot whenever they need it, usually a suit. I had to ask myself, because I had a discussion with somebody about this today, one of the editors. We were talking about that character because it was like, we all agreed, she just doesn't seem to have a strong presence. We got to the point, we said, man, was she even needed in the movie? The movie's already very long, which didn't bother me because, but the thing is, I'm always for trimming if you can. And I think they could have alluded to her instead of just putting her in the movie. I even think they could have had her just come on in one scene and not have her there. Because the reason why I think that she's the weakest, because it felt like Marvel forced her in, and that's what you said. Mm-hmm. Because they had to put in there because she has a show coming up.
Yeah.
Ironheart. I had complaints with Namor. And they extend from something else. And because I love Namor. I said that in my review. That's what I said, man.
But I was telling him he's less of a dick here than he is in the comics.
You're absolutely right. Explain why he's a dick. I get it. He had a bad introduction to humanity. He's like, well, all this.
Right.
I'm trying to talk sense to you, but I see I'm going to have to beat your ass. And I don't want to do that, but you were making me.
Just do what I say and everything will be good.
That's totally
See, that's the problem.
I mean, we'll just be allies, or I'll just kill you and your entire family. I mean, come on, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
The funny thing is, he said it's smooth, too.
He did.
Oh, yeah,
very confident.
No, he would look at somebody, and he said to her, he almost had you convinced. Just do what they say, or I will destroy you all. Man, that sounds good. Wait a minute. Hey, wait a minute, man.
Say that.
There's no wiggle room on that? No, I'm afraid
nada. I like like I said, man, I love the actor. I love the character. I think he's a great villain.
What reason do you have to reveal your secret to the world?
I am not a woman who enjoys repeating herself. Who
Well, it's like a war of accents right there.
are you?
I have many names, but my enemies call me Namor.
Boy, he trying to turn her on. Look at that. He flirting. He flirting.
He knows.
Yeah. The way he even said his name, they call me Coogler. Oh, yes. But my enemies call me Namor. Yeah, man. Great actor. I can't wait to see him in some other things. You say he's going to have a big impact.
I imagine he's going to has to be one of the big players.
Yeah.
You can imagine with Fantastic Four and everything else.
Yeah.
Can you imagine him and Sue Storm?
Oh, I know.
That's a big thing in the comics.
You prefer this skinny man, this skinny old man to me?
You will be my empress,
Yes.
my queen.
Yeah, he'll say it as a statement.
He will. Yes, this will happen though.
Yeah. His motivation was off for me. And it's not because of anything that's going to that character or that actor. His motivation is off because I think of his connection to Riri. You know, he's talking about, give me this scientist. I've got to kill this scientist. I must kill this scientist. I kill everybody. You know, and the thing is, you know, what does that solve if he kills the scientist? I mean, everybody knows about this shit. Now, if they had said, and they didn't say, so it just leads us to speculate. And when you get to speculate, now you got to fill in the blanks yourself. I don't think that's good writing. You know, I think he could have said, I want this scientist so that I could question them and see who else knows, find out what they know. But they never said that. There's even a point where I believe he says at some point, you know, I don't even care about her. Which just a minute ago you did. And then after he's done talking about the scientist, he just flips with no real reason to saying, now I got to go to the surface and kill everyone. I think they could explain this by what I just said, you know, maybe explaining that he wants to kidnap the scientist and question him and then maybe later kill them. But I don't think you really needed, you needed to kidnap the what was her name? Riri. I don't think you need to kidnap her at all, man.
Well, my whole thing is I just thought he just used her as an excuse to do what he wanted. Like, he doesn't really care about her. It's just because he wants this alliance with Wakanda because he's afraid now that the surface world is going to come for his vibranium.
It could have
been trimmed. I agree.
Yeah, they either could have wrote that better or trimmed it better because, like I said, I don't think you needed as much Riri Williams in there. I think that you could have had them visit her at the school
at MIT,
MIT, and then leave it at that. You know, movies are made by their villains sometimes, and Killmonger made Black Panther almost. I mean, I know everybody talks about Chadwick, but everybody remembers Killmonger, man. Mm-hmm. And I just think his motivation was clearer. His writing was better. Both actors are great, by the way.
But in the case of Killmonger, Namor and the Tolokans, and even the U.S. or the world government, everybody looks at Wakanda as this is a resource I gotta have so I can control the world. Oh yeah, so I can wage war on the world.
Oh, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just as villains go.
Yeah,
I think people look at this and they automatically say, yeah, Killmonger's a more straightforward, stronger villain than they have. You're better written, and I think people are kind of taking points off of that because. What's his name? Michael B. Jordan was so great in that role, and Tanaka Huerta is great in that role too. But if you ask about who the stronger written villain is, I think it's him.
I don't know. I thought Namor was a stronger villain.
Yeah, I mean, see, that's what people, just have their own thing. Yeah. This is me speculating on what people, and I even seen what people are saying, know. So it's just me speculating on what people are saying and probably taking points off for.
Yeah. I'm sure that's probably it. Yeah, for myself, again, I'm fresh off the movie, so maybe I might change my mind. It's just, I love Eric Killmonger. He's a great villain. But he's just such a pure psychopath. Yeah. I mean, he really is. People say, he has points. Like, nah, he wanted to kill all the white people. That was Endgame.
Man, you had a great plan for inserting yourself. Yes. And then the second part of your plan sucked.
Yeah.
I was like, shit did.
I was like, this is dumb. What are you doing?
You were not going to win this.
Yeah. And it's at least with, Namor, he's like, I'm doing this so I can protect my people. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to go to war. But I will if I have to,
Yeah.
I don't feel like, even though Killmonger says, I'm doing this for my people, he's doing it for himself. He's an incredibly selfish character.
Oh, he's a narcissist. Yeah, he's equally as egotistical too.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not saying this should be for everybody. It was just my opinion. When I saw the movie, I was like, I love this villain so much. I wish his motivation was written better. But then again, some people like you love Namor more. And I can see why.
Yeah.
goddamn, he's charismatic, boy.
He's charismatic. He's all in your face. You're like, wish you could back off a little bit because I feel like we could work things out, but that's not his style.
Boy,
he's very much a gangster.
Let me tell you something. If I was guarding the gate of Wakanda, that should be burned down because I would have let him in. I was like, damn, this dude is smooth. Come on in, man. Hey, everybody, look who's here. Oh,
what did you do? If you talk to him, he just got a way of getting in your head.
Also, I think there were certain moments in the movie that just weren't. That certain bits of writing. Now, this is a complaint of mine. Certain just small bits of writing were not well done. That whole thing with the plantation in the background or the flashback. Mm-hmm. And that's just something with me. I don't like long bits of exposition when they keep going to flashbacks and the characters just walking around a circle in a room describing something. Long exposition is just something I don't like. I don't think that that's really great writing. But then again, that's just me. That's one of the things when somebody says that they look at this and they say that the writing is weaker. I will say in that sense, yeah, I can understand that. It is one of the things that made this movie probably not perfect. Like I wanted to go in and do it. Because I'll tell you, for about the first, we talked about this again today too. I was like, yeah, I agree, man. The first hour and a half, this is a perfect movie. Mm-hmm. I don't see no flaws at all, none. I think people have a point when they put that in their criticisms that the writing is not as strong. Maybe not to the same degree. But what do you guys say?
I was not bothered by that exposition. I thought it was fascinating how they explained the Tolokans and how they came to be and when he came up and he saw like, the surface dwellers are enslaving each other. Well, them. Yeah. I'm not going to let that happen. Yeah. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to kill all these people here.
That was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah, I don't know how much I wanted them to do a really dramatization of it. This worked.
See, I guess that's what it was. I would have liked to have seen a dramatization of that. I would have liked it because this movie's so, and again, nothing wrong with what you're saying because, I mean, listen, this is a long ass movie already.
It's a long movie.
I don't know how they would have put it in there, but you know, they're doing so much in the movie to emotionally pull you in. And I just would have liked the scene with no narration where I see with this, you know, I like when images speak for themselves, when there's no dialogue. I like when the power of an image and actions can sell you. And I just imagine what it would have been like had they done a scene where we just saw Namor as a kid get pissed off and just wreak havoc on this damn plantation over here. But again, I don't know how they would have fit that in. That's just something I want. It's not a big deal. Yeah. Keep in mind, people, everybody in this room loves this movie. So it's just a discussion. You know, everybody here, believe it or not, is speaking the same language as if we had Babel. Mark looked at me like, oh no. You know, Babbel is a language app. And I'm going to tell you about this because I've used it. I was lucky enough to get the app and have them give me some sessions for this. Now, I'll be honest with you, I haven't used it for a while and I should be using it. But, you know, I don't have an excuse because it's so easy to use. Babbel, babbel.com is where you go to check this out. For those of you who've been wanting to learn a language for a while, you've been talking to some chick over in Spain or Turkey or something, or over in Paris, and you know you want to start trying to woo them a little better, speak that language, start understanding what they're talking about, instead of just sending news to each other. No, get Babbel, man. Babbel, and listen, I really do endorse Babbel because I've been using this myself. You really only need minutes to go in there and complete the simplest of lessons, which are very effective. I'd say you only need about 10 minutes, man, to go in and complete a lesson and be on your way to learn a new language. You could probably start picking up words and phrases enough to just have a nice conversation. You can do that in about 3 weeks if you're really staying at it and you're working at it. And again, it's very easy to do. I'm gonna show you some languages they have up here. French, German, Italian, Russian, Portuguese, Turkish, Dutch, Swedish, Polish, Norwegian, Indonesian, Danish. Sorry, no Wakandan on there.
No Tolakan.
No Tolakan.
That's what I need to learn.
No.
For when they take over, I want to let them know like I'm one of the good ones.
And the reason why this is so effective is because they actually have language experts. When I say language experts, I'm talking about human beings. Mm-hmm. You know, they ain't using no Tony Stark AI technology in there to create these languages for you or to create these lessons. This is not AI technology that's creating that. These are real people who are creating this. So they know what other real people like. And it's been scientifically proven to be effective. And they also have speech recognition technology that helps you. And the reason why that is so helpful is because, hey, listen, you can learn a language. But when you go somewhere and you think you being all smooth, think you speaking it fluently, and everybody like, listen, this go country ass. That's because your accent is off. That's not because you sounding like sexy Namor saying, por favor. You're saying, por favor, por favor. You don't want to do that. That's another reason why you need to come in here and have this help you out. It comes not only with a 20-day money back guarantee. You're not gonna want your money back so much I can't even say it. Somebody like, damn, you need Babbel to speak English. I might just get it. You know what? I'll get it and I'll be so eloquent after this. Hey, listen, I have a Turkish wife. You know, I know she's talking about me sometimes. So I try to speak so I know what she's saying. Mm-hmm. But also, I go to Turkey sometimes. And she was impressed at how I was able to ask people some things over there. So, you know, I pick up, I pick this back up and I can actually go through a lesson, scrub up on it, and kind of impress the lady when I'm back over there. So you want to impress some people too. If you jump on Babbel right now with our code over here, babbel.com/toasted, you'll get 55% off your subscription. 55% off your subscription when you use that code I just gave you. Now, you understand that language right there, right? So people, I want to thank Babbel.com for supporting this part of the show. And I want to thank all of you out there for your support. Gracias. All right, let's see here. I think, what do you think about this? I'm just gonna ask y'all. Do you think some people might be kind of harsh on this movie because they really miss Chadwick Boseman?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's the lack of Chadwick Boseman, and it's too many women on screen taking charge. And I know people are like, every time you don't like something, you say misogyny, but it's not always like so direct. Sometimes it's very ingrained and indirect, and you don't even know it. It's just that feeling like, I just wish there were more dudes in it. It's like, see, that's what I'm talking about right there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's you bring up a good point, because I was going to mention this later, but because I really love this movie because of a bias, and I have to admit that. The women in here play a big role in that.
They do.
But I'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, man, what do you think about that?
No, I do think that's it. I mean, you still have that, recast T'Challa. You still have all of that. That's still trending. And there are a lot of people that were just against the idea of Shuri. Not even before seeing the movie, they just did not want her to be.
Yeah, they wanted him.
They want him.
Yeah.
But again, I saw the movie. I saw what they did with Shuri, and I thought, oh, she earns this mantle.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's the thing. I feel like people just give it a chance. People don't want to give it a chance. They just refuse to do so. But what she goes through, again, I think a lot of people have in their mind that Shuri is the character we see in the first Black Panther. It's smart, but spunky and funny, little sister. I mean, and you're like, I can't imagine. I mean, maybe through multiple subsequent films, sure, she'll be a Black Panther. But in this movie, she has gone through so much.
She goes through so much.
She's angry. She's bitter. She's grieving or trying to grieve. And, and she's just a completely different person. I was like, oh, yeah. And even then, when she becomes Black Panther, it's like, are you doing this for the right reasons? Because that's the other thing. Mm-hmm. Bring back Killmonger. Yeah. And he's like, you're just like me. And she's like, no, I'm not. It's like, but you want vengeance, don't you?
Yeah, you're doing everything I was doing.
Yeah, exactly. She started out grieving. Mm-hmm. Then she was angry. And then by the end, at a very young age of someone who's still pretty much kind of a kid, having so much burden cast upon their life, she took it all and said, you know what, I'm going to be wise. Because now I can't rely on somebody else to tell me what to do anymore.
She's the queen.
That's true. That's true.
She says, I got to make the decision, and I know what I have to do now. She says, I can sit up here and be selfish and kill this son of a bitch and destroy everybody, or we can we can work together.
Make peace.
I think one of the reasons why, and I'm bringing this up here because I looked at that and I was like, why is everybody complaining about her? Not everybody, but I saw complaints about Letitia Wright. And I said, because I said in my review, I said, by the end of this movie, she owns this film. I think people are still, they can't get over all the COVID stuff that she was saying.
No, that was the thing. Talking to some of the critics coming out, they were outraged that they made her the star of the movie. It's
what?
Like, yeah, they were like, I just can't believe Disney would take somebody who's so anti-science and make them a genius scientist, and that she's leading the movie. I was like, yeah, but she owns it. No, she did a good job, but I'm still not happy about her being in this role. I'm like,
wow.
All right, okay, I don't.
There's nothing we can say at that point.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
it comes down to the bias.
Because I was very much on the recast the role. But what they do at the opening, where they really do bury Chadwick Boseman and Black Panther in such a respectful way, it was like, this chapter's closed.
Those same motherfuckers who will complain about her talking about COVID will be first in line to see a Mel Gibson movie. You know it. You'd be first in line to watch him play damn crazy ass Santa Claus. Mm-hmm. If you were sitting up here talking about that she is worse than Ezra Miller, or if you really letting her bring the movie down because of words that she said, which, listen, her opinion wasn't that effective to where she actually killed people. She ain't goddamn Trump or anything like that. Exactly. She put out a tweet. Black Panther's little sister. Put out a tweet. I mean, if that really bothered you, then it was more personal than that. I'm gonna go on a limb here. Like, I didn't want to do this because I respect people's opinion. I'm not saying. Listen, I right now I've even been saying I agree with some of the people out there who have complaints about this. Maybe I don't agree to the extent that, or disagree, or didn't like it to the degree that you didn't. But I'm looking at this and I'm gonna go on a limb and say, if you really don't like what she said, it's more than what her tweet.
There's more feet in it.
You didn't like it because she ain't Chadwick, or because she's a female.
It's a how dare she?
Yeah.
Who does she think she is?
She's a woman trying to get paid like everybody else. A job to go and do this. Hell, I'd be more upset she didn't show up for work.
Right.
I disagree with that, man. I think you're full of shit if you say that. I'm gonna tell you one reason why, because I see people's complaints. I think the reason why I like this so much than some other people who are actually coming in and reviewing this a little more harshly is because I'm just in love with Ryan Coogler's direction.
Oh yeah.
That was the star of the movie to me. I love his direction because listen, the in this movie here, the fight choreography was great.
Much better.
Tolkans, they actually made them scary, man.
Scary,
That
yes.
opening was great.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, those fools, I said this in the review, they made them very threatening, man. That opening was straight out of a horror movie.
I loved it.
Yeah, they made them intimidating. The underwater scenes were done well. I think the underwater, I was very impressed, man. But those fish people scared the shit out of me.
The fishmen.
Yes, his attention to detail when it came to the culture, like he said, I know these people are not real, but the culture that this is from is. And I had to pay respect to that. And he was actually trying to course correct some real history by doing this, if you want to know what that is, go look at our review. But his direction with actors, I thought was better.
It was.
Yeah.
I think it has a lot to do with Chadwick Boseman's death. It's because everybody had to take this to a whole new emotional level than what it was before. And Chadwick Boseman's death is whether we like him, I'm not trying to be insensitive and whether we like it or not, his death is the one that did that. And it made it probably the most emotional Marvel movie ever. Now, y'all can go in and say what you want to, because I'm with a lot of people out there. I miss Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah,
not enough to bring the movie down. In fact, I appreciated the gift they gave him with this movie, honoring him in such a way. I miss him very much, and I would have loved to have seen him here.
What happens now determines what happens.
For everybody, he was that character, and it was a shock to have him gone. And I think because the actor died, not only because the character died, but because the actor died, man, that's what took us over. And because you can talk about other characters like, it was very emotional for people when Tony Stark died. Sure, Tony Stark died, Iron Man died, Robert Downey Jr. still living his life.
That's true.
Living it nice, loving life. We had to go in with the knowledge that Chadwick is gone.
Right. Yeah.
Tragically. And I think that played a lot into Ryan Coogler's direction, because Ryan Coogler, he used that to make some very tender moments in here that I've never seen done that well in a Marvel movie.
No, in any superhero movie, you wouldn't even expect them to be able to pull that off. When I saw what he did with the ending, that just sealed it for me. Oh yeah. Looking at the end of this, I tell you, we had a lot of talk about what we thought, or where we thought that this movie would go. And, choosing to end that movie. So we all have seen the movie, just, again, to just refresh ourselves. It doesn't end in some big way. It ends very quiet. Shuri's on the beach, just mourning. I mean, it's a very bittersweet movie. They won, but she ain't got her brother back. And she's just, she's still grieving the loss of that.
Lost her mother.
Yeah, lost her mother. I'm glad the movie ended quiet. I'm glad there was no, coming up next to, hey, look, everybody. Dr. Doom, what you doing here, man?
I know. That would have ruined, though.
It would have.
Yeah, it was like, I said I wanted that before, but not now. Not now. Doom, just hang back. The next movie, you come in.
Doom's like, okay,
Yeah,
bunch of guys mourn. All right,
Yeah.
I'll kill you next time.
Yeah. Is this a bad time? Yes. Sorry, shit.
Read the room next time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So glad to see that there was no Doom at all. The camera's just on Shuri in the beach, and I was even impressed with what they did again with the mid-credit stinger, where they came back and introduced the T'Challa's son, which I thought, and I knew that was his son. I was like, oh, y'all just ruined it, man. It's gonna be corny. But I was like, man, the dialogue is written so well. The mood is so good.
And it was just emotional. It's almost like the movie said, like, have you not cried yet? all right, bring it in.
Yeah.
We got you.
I'm gonna squeeze all the liquid out your ass. Yeah, man.
Stop it. I got nothing left.
They even made sure to get a kid that looked like Chadwick Boseman. I was like, God damn.
Yeah. And see what, it's the drama at the end of that. You're leaving with these characters feeling more real. We ain't leaving with a cameo or coming up next or anything like that. again, this goes back to Endgame and what do you call it? Infinity Wars. You know, when you go back to those movies, that's why I say you haven't had a movie like that since Endgame and Infinity Wars. Now going up to Wakanda Forever, because I hadn't seen them in the movie that quiet since they showed Thanos just chilling, happy because he killed half the universe.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I did some good work today.
Yo,
I did a
I
good
say it was a
job.
good day.
pull up his world's greatest dad cup. Yeah, I love that scene, by the way. Beyond this, I and everything that I just said, I have to admit that my bias kind of plays into this too. You know, it'd be wrong for me to sit up there and talk about everybody else and their biases and not confess to mine, because I do have my personal biases in this. You know, I want diversity from Marvel in all kind of ways, but a lot of that is tone. I mean, listen, you know, everything that they did before, I'm not saying it was all like this, but it was either jokey or cute, or lighthearted.
Well, anytime they hit a complex or negative emotion, it's like, well, let's joke our way through it.
Yeah.
And here it's like, no jokes.
Yeah. I mean, even things that were supposed to be edgier or darker, like Moon Knight. I kind of lost interest in Moon Knight near the end because the character was played up so much for laughs as it went along. You know, and I don't know, it made me think, okay, when are we gonna start taking things seriously next? I mean, shit, what you have next? Like the Punisher doing pie fights and shooting people? Instead of shooting people. Man, that is the craziest picture of the Punisher that I've seen. Somebody said he looked like Mo from the Three Stooges right there.
Yeah. You know, John Bernthal does look like Mo.
He's got done killing Larry and Gurley.
Doing numbskulls.
Put his fist through their skulls.
I warned you.
Yeah. No, you know, Spider-Man got a little lighthearted. The only exception I would say is probably the Halloween special that we saw recently.
You wanna see this, darling?
Death is coming for you!
Thank you. All right. But that was probably one of the darker things they did, because it was probably one of the violent things that they did. But even that started to get kind of cutesy near the end with certain things. Not that I didn't like it. I loved it, actually. But, you know, I think that looking at Wakanda Forever and how they just didn't, they had humor where it was necessary, but most of this was a drama. I want this to be successful because I want Marvel to see that it's okay to not have to have that lighthearted tone. Let's get to the real reason I probably love this as far as a bias goes, because everybody knows it. And that's, you know, I wear it proudly. You know, I'm not afraid to tell you. I love this because of the black talent that's in this, that's being afforded this opportunity on this scale. I'm sorry, man, you know, but this is not just a success as a movie. You know, if this is a success for everyone, then it's a success really for us. Because I know it's, for people who don't understand, you don't understand. But Black Panther, you know, that is the biggest budget, you know, spectacle film with an all-black cast ever. And that was made in 2018. You know, before then, they never trusted a cast with that many people because they thought that people of color, especially black people, you only fit within certain films. That's why you got nothing but hood movies or comedies.
Well, the idea was if we make a movie with an all-black or mostly black cast, white audiences won't come to see it.
Unless it's a hood movie, a comedy, or some struggle slave shit.
Yeah.
You know, or something from, you know, the freedom marches and the civil rights marches and all that, civil rights movement. You know, that's they really pigeonholed us to be in a certain position. This showed that we could sell.
Yeah.
You know, this could the importance that somebody like me puts on this movie. Again, you don't understand how much that means, because this is not just a film. You know, I know that I say movies are movies, but not in this case. This is a movie that could possibly pave the way for more opportunities. You know, this could pave the way for more diversity. And as you were saying earlier, Martin, if this is a win for us. This is a win for you. This is a win for everybody. Because once they open the door for that diversity for one group, another group's going to be able to come in and succeed off of that as well. I mean, you see, hey, once we got it, we say, hey, brown people, come on in. you know?
Yeah.
They made y'all a stereotype of having y'all swim over here. But
I wasn't even.
I never even crossed my mind.
Hey, it hit mine. I was like, I ain't saying it.
I'll say it.
Nope.
I didn't do it. Hey, I just said what they did. That's all. But no, if they open up the doors for one group, listen, if they open up a door for for gay people, then that's an opportunity for us too. Yeah, man. And
the diversity makes everything more interesting and rich.
Yes,
and societies have benefited from diversity.
Now, I'll tell you this. Yes, having a mostly black cast and brown cast in this meant a lot to me. But I was really, I was moved that I didn't even think about it at first until I heard like Oz say it. This is not just a black cast. This is a black woman-led cast. Which we kind of saw, earlier this year with something like The Woman King.
Yeah.
But again, this is a higher scale right here, And
it's a genre film.
Yeah, exactly. I think that this movie did something excellent too that the other movies weren't doing. When movies felt like it did it in this movie because I talked about how I thought they had Riri Williams and they were forcing her in there to go ahead and get you ready for her film or her show, Ironheart. But I did think that they did a good job with everybody else having the characters come in who are going to have other projects later and making them a natural feeling part of the story. Julia Louis-Dreyfus as Contessa Valentina Allegra de la Fontaine.
Madam Hydra.
Yeah, there you go.
Jesus. I know they keep saying that name. It's like, you're going to be Madam Hydra.
Yeah.
I know you are.
Or just say Val. Some people say,
Val.
ain't nobody got, saying that name is about as long as this movie. But, having her in here, man, the way they brought her in with all the political stuff and weaved her in, I was like, man, okay, now this feels like a natural way to start introducing other shows.
Sure.
Or other movies.
It's Thunderbolts.
Yeah, because that's what she's going to do. She's going to be doing Thunderbolts.
Yeah, we need vibranium.
Yep. Lake Bell. That was her, right?
Yeah.
In the movie. Man. So, well, that's what I want to ask you. Do you think she's actually dead?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you crash a helicopter. That's not good. You tumble and everything.
In real life, yes. But in the movies and comic books, you don't see a body.
You don't see it. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's good.
You don't
crash
see
in water.
I think that she's a name enough to where they could bring her in or something. Some people saying she was working for another team, possibly a Doom team or something. Who knows? Hey, listen, like I said, I'm content with people having their different opinions about something. I realize not everybody's going to love something or even like something as much as I do. Sometimes I wish they do. That was another thing that was, I was complaining about, just a nitpick, him flying.
I liked his little
wings, little pigeon wings.
I was like, because I thought, okay, how can you make this work? And they made him badass. Because he was cutting through people, and
he was.
Because they even Ryan Coogler was like, I'm gonna make these things. Because he even did close-ups of the feet, not like in a fetishistic kind of way, but just like how fast they were going, and how he's bouncing in the air. I was like, I like how he moves. It was different for a lot of superheroes that fly. Yeah, his was unique.
Yeah, and I just love how they incorporated it into we call him the winged serpent.
Yeah.
Good point.
I like the way he moved. It just looked like he was riding down on pigeons or something. Like he's standing on little canaries.
Pigeons tied with his ankles.
Like he's literally pigeon-toed. So, I wish people liked it as much as I did, loved it as much as I did. But hey, everybody got their own thing. I just thought it would be worth the discussion to see what I agree with on people and what I disagree with on people when it comes to their criticisms or praises of this. I'm just happy it's doing well with audiences out there. I'm just happy that we will get another one. So we'll see. Anything I want to add?
No, I'm just super excited that I'm grateful they gave us this movie.
Yep.
It's been a while, and not to keep going back and dogging on Black Adam, but Black Adam was just the example of the that. Well, if we do this, people will just be happy to see their characters and don't worry about getting deep with it.
Yeah.
And is that feeling of like they could just keep cranking these out like that, like hot dogs at 7-Eleven. But this is like, okay, there you actually worked on it and put deep thought and dotted your I's and you respected the audience to say like, hey, you're smarter than this. You deserve more.
Yeah.